Hey, everyone, and welcome. And thank you for joining us for this latest and hopefully greatest episode of Making Sales Social Live, coming to you from the Social Sales Link virtual studios and brought to you by AskSSL.ai. I'm Bob Woods. I'm joined by Stan Robinson Jr. and Bryn Tillman. How y'all doing?
Real
Great,
good.
Bob. How are you?
I am doing great talking about a subject that I love, and hopefully more and more people will love after this. And also, LinkedIn loves it because LinkedIn
That's
loves
true.
video. The platform is doing everything it can to push video. It's popular on all social media platforms, and LinkedIn is most definitely hitching its wagon to the video train. If you are not leaning into it yet, you might be missing out on one of the most effective ways to build trust, create connections, and start real conversations. We're going to be talking in this live about 5 ways to use video on LinkedIn. Before we do that, any thoughts from y'all about video just in general? Because I know that you love it as much as I do.
I do have some starting thoughts, but Stan, if you have any, you go first, and then I will take over.
Just that video is the next best thing to being there. If you can't meet with someone face to face, video is our next best option, and they can see, the tone of your voice,
Mhm.
uh, all of that, those nonverbal cues, they provide the majority of the communication that we do. The words are, I forget what the fraction is, but the words that we say are just a small fraction of our
Yeah.
communication with people. And so video does allow us to communicate this very efficiently, even if we can't be person to person. So that's why I'm
Oh,
excited about video.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that, and I absolutely love the idea that they get to experience us, right? There's an old saying, it's not who you know, but who knows you.
Yeah.
And video really allows people to get to know you. And I'm just going to run through very quickly a few ideas for video before we get into how we're going to use this. But um, we're learning through algorithm, and I've had some training with LinkedIn about what it is that's really working. And so I'm going to start with a few things like behind the scenes formats that really work, like a day in the life, or how I start my day, or my workflow, or what's on my calendar this week, inside our team meeting, tools I can't live without, what I'm working on today. Like those are concepts to start videos that really do well. A couple of other things like your personal point of view and storytelling. So, like, I talked to the client today who, or why I told my client to stop doing this,
Yeah.
or what I wish I knew before this, or what if it one of the great storytelling that we use when we're prospecting folks in new jobs, or what I wish I knew in my first 90 days of X
Mhm.
job, or what other people in your prospects. So let's say you're selling to CTOs. So what top CTOs wish they knew in the first 90 days, and interview them and just get kind of like your quick, we'll talk a little bit about, but interview them to get their thoughts, right, on video, Zoom videos. Now, my favorite that we do a lot are the mini tutorials or value. Like, what can we give away that's of value? Whether we're sharing a quick prompt to use, or a quick LinkedIn tip, or how I solved a problem. Jeb Blunt does Ask Me Anything with a theme of the week. Like lots of ways to share value. And I think those are kind of the concepts to think through. And now we'll talk about ways to execute on those.
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, so now we're going to be getting into like the different ways, the different formats, and things like that to use video now that we kind of have an idea of the types of things that we could be doing, especially with Bryn saying what she said. So the first one is going to be linking to a video that is outside of LinkedIn. So that's going to be like YouTube. That may be something that lives on a company page or something like that. So with all that, you're going to be using the post format and then just literally posting or pasting in the link to the video, which will then LinkedIn will convert it so that it gets shown if it's YouTube. Otherwise, if it's embedded in a video, if it's embedded in a blog post page, it'll probably show the blog post, and then the video will be able to be played from the blog post. It is especially effective, I think, if you're on YouTube and you are using YouTube videos to do that type of thing, because I believe you can play the video directly. Either that or it goes to YouTube, but the video is like right there ready to play, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think-
So, Christina, if you want to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of a link that goes out to YouTube, and
Yep.
then, yeah.
Yeah, the main thing is, because we're going to talk about native video next, not to let the cat out of the bag, but the algorithms do prefer that you stay on the LinkedIn platform. So if you're linking to an external site, you may lose a little bit of visibility on LinkedIn. However, it depends on what your strategy is, because if a large part of your strategy is to build your YouTube following and drive people, I'm just using YouTube as an example, you
Perfect.
drive people to your YouTube channel, then LinkedIn just becomes one piece of that strategy that you're using to get more viewers on your LinkedIn, on your YouTube channel, rather.
Exactly. And then one thing you can do, takes a little bit more work, but it might be worth it, is to maybe put together and again, where we're going to be talking about native video here in just a minute, but maybe put together a 30-second clip of what's in the YouTube video in its entirety, upload that, and then also link out to the YouTube
Wow.
for the
So
full
that's cat
content
out
of
of the
it.
bag for native
That's
video.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because there and I guess we should just get into that in
I
terms
have,
of
I want
okay, go, then go,
Okay.
go, go.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the consequences that Stan touched on in
Yeah.
external links. So from Richard Vanderbloom's algorithm report, they did see a 40% decrease in reach compared to similar posts without external links. So I do want to mention that. And they're what he calls the reach multiplier is about a third, meaning they are like only 33% or 33% of the folks that would see a post without an external link will see the post with an external link. So it does affect views and engagement. So what I want to share, if you are going to do this, so for Stan's idea of, if I'm looking to build my YouTube, and we will get into Bob's idea in our next
Yep.
format, but if you want, what you really want to do is you want to rev up the flywheel for this, right? So recognize it's it's a slow starter when you have an external link. So you can actually share this in the inbox of up to 10 people at a time, blind copied, to get their thoughts. Make sure that if you've got that external link in a post, that you have a process around how you are going to get that post going. Because what we do know is once that post does start going, right? Once you've got 15 or 20 reactions and comments, it will now take flight of its own. So while initially it's going to have a lot of suppression, when you rev it up by making sure that you're getting the right people to engage on that external link post, you can affect how well it does.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to share.
Excellent, excellent. So with that, let's get into LinkedIn native video. So, if you're scratching your head wondering what that is, that just essentially means videos that you upload to LinkedIn directly. So, in other words, you're not linking out to YouTube for it. This is something where you're going through the process to upload the video and it converts it, and then it then publishes it as part of a post. So I think let's just get into just a couple of really quick mechanics about native video before we get into the details. Should be anywhere from 30 seconds to 90 seconds. The shorter the better, unless you have an absolute need to go over. If you do, definitely don't go over 2 minutes because people just aren't going to stick around for that. Any other types of like just mechanics type of thing? Because I do think that the time is probably the biggest thing.
Oh gosh, I have so many things because
Yes.
but mechanically the video needs to be in to do as well as it can. It needs to be in vertical format. Like if you're using your phone for recording, a lot of video is being consumed on the app. And so if you have it in horizontal, it's a little teeny tiny picture and it's going to get a lot less views. LinkedIn is also giving preference to that vertical video. So I'm going to go back to some of the things I learned from Richard van der Bloom's research around this, which is native video posts have the highest engagement multiplier, where that external link was about 33% of who would normally see it. The highest engagement multiplier in native video is 1.34 times, meaning there's a third more people that are going to see this than anything else that you share. So, and it has gone way up. You also, a couple of quick things, you can post video that has captions, but LinkedIn has captions that you can choose to use and edit. So you can do straight video without, well, we'll talk about editing versus not edited as differently, but just keep in mind that that vertical video, like that TikTok format, I think I'm going to double check this, but I think it gets 3 times higher reach than horizontal video. I'm pretty sure that's what it says.
It
So
wouldn't surprise me that that's the
Yeah,
number. Yeah.
I think
looks
it's
better.
3 times, and the retention is 70% average watch time over um, horizontal videos. So that was really important. And then the last thing is the hook. The first 3 seconds is everything. So the hook has to happen in the first 3 seconds. That can be in the first 3 words that you say, or it could be the thumbnail, or whatever you have in there. So, and then a couple of things that I think to avoid is don't go over that 90 seconds. It's the 30
Yeah.
to 90 seconds is really important. The subtitles are really important, whether you do them in advance or use LinkedIn's. Um,
Auto
uh,
channel.
yeah, and autos. Thank you, auto. Um, and you want to make sure you've got a CTA in your text of those videos asking people to share their perspective, because the more people engage, the more views it will get.
Okay, so before we go on, we have just a really, really quick question about algorithm that we should just knock out here really quick. Martin Smith asks, "What do you know about any restrictions LinkedIn applies to external links?" We've already discussed that a little bit. As I understand, the algo deletes them in posts and comments, which that doesn't
I've
happen.
never heard that.
I've never heard of that happening. So, if you do put links in comments, so I mean, sometimes people will like try to get around the link in the post to do a link in comments. It's not that LinkedIn deletes it. It's just that after a while, if you start getting more and more people commenting on it, your initial comment gets buried to the point where people may not see it. So maybe that's what you're thinking of. I'm not sure.
One other thought is
Mhm.
if you put a comment to somebody else's post where you're linking out, I don't think the algorithm is going to do anything, but if there's someone puts a comment where it's a promotion to their business, I will delete that. I will
Yeah.
take it. So if you are witnessing this happening, there's a good chance that you're seeing links and comments that are irrelevant to the original post and are just there to spam.
That's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So with that, let's get into two types of native video, raw and edited. Let's talk about raw real quick, Bren.
So I love raw. This, when I started to talk about kind of the day in the life, or I mean, they can be completely edited too, but I love sales reps from the car videos. Just raw, came out of a client, don't say the client, came out of a prospect. This is the challenge they were facing. And here were some of the ideas that we're coming up with. Would love to hear your thoughts and comments and have some real value in that has challenge and some of your thoughts. That's raw. You can just record it on your phone and upload it, use the native captions that are available, and done. Now you have a max of 10 minutes. Do not use
Go
the 10
near
minutes.
that.
Do not. So that 30 to 90 seconds is your sweet spot. I tend to go over 90 seconds sometimes, and I will see a drop in the algorithm, even in that native video. So I think it's really important when we do our faceless videos, which we can talk about a little bit too. We always do it at 60 seconds, but that's also for YouTube shorts. They have to be 60 seconds. So we want to reuse them. So consider if you're doing that.
Yeah, so and that's a good point. So you're like, okay, I do YouTube Shorts. Can I cross over to LinkedIn? It's much better to just upload them separately to each platform rather than trying to crisscross between platforms on those. Cool. So now that we've gone through raw video a little bit, although just keep in mind, you can do light editing to your raw videos. I mean, if you like stumble or whatever when you're doing the raw videos, I mean, you could put a jump cut in there and keep going. It's not like we're talking 100% raw. It's more of the feeling of raw rather than being truly raw. And that's part of the old television producer in me coming out, because when I think raw video, that's actually a little bit different than what we're talking about here. Now let's talk about edited.
Wait. If you're
video.
going to do that,
Yeah.
then let's talk about how to do that, right? So there are a few things like apps like CapCut. We use BigView, right? Where you can easily do that. Like if you've got ums and ahs, or you stopped it and you want to kind of bridge it all together. And sometimes I'm speeding things up. Like sometimes to get into my 90 seconds, I have to go to 1.2 speed. You may not notice it because I'm from New York and we talk fast anyway. But there are things that you can do minimally with some really great apps for your mobile device. Why I love BigView. And if you're curious, socialsaleslink.com/BigView, BIGVU. Why I like that is because you can edit it on your phone, or simultaneously it will upload into your desktop. So you can edit in both places, making it really simple.
Yep.
Okay, now
edited. Let's go with the edited kind. So what are we talking about when we refer to edited video?
I'm just going to keep talking, Stan, unless
you want to. Go ahead. Go ahead when it comes to editing.
So a highly edited video can be anything from adding B-roll, right? So also BigView and CapCut. And by the way, you can get lots of B-roll off of Canva. If you have a paid account, there's a ton of stuff on Canva. And B-roll so if I'm sitting here, I'm a talking head, you could get really, really bored, like in that 60 seconds, if all you do is look at me. So if I have an idea, and then it's like we're talking about networking, and then you throw in a little video of people at a networking event, right? That's B-roll. That can absolutely bring in more viewers because it's a little bit more interesting. You can do that in the Big View or in the CapCut. You can do that in professional video. There are folks on Fiverr.com that can, for $10, you can send them a video and they can do the whole kit and caboodle for you. It's also bringing in captions that are like bubble letters or things that are bigger, right? Like that create more of an interesting experience than a talking head.
Yep. Excellent stuff.
I can't
So
get all
there's another, before we move on, there's another faceless video which is highly edited. So if you go to hashtag AskSSL, I think you're going to see prompts that we have. There's a little music. I think we're in the 30s now, that every couple of days we're sharing another prompt. It's all done in Canva. It was done relatively quickly. And they're faceless videos that have decent response. It's not getting as much as we would like. And so I think some of it is because we're probably not actively getting people to engage the way we would on a poll or other kinds of content. But it's easy content, and it does draw in some attention to what we do. And because it's done in Canva in bulk, our team member was able to do it in like an hour. We have 100, maybe in an hour, hour and a half, we have 100 to share.
Okay, great.
Okay, you can go on. I'm done ranting.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. Something dropped out on my side, so I couldn't hear. Sorry about that. Tech problems. So the next one that we're going to be talking about is what we're doing right now, and that is live streaming. So you could do exactly what we're doing, this type of thing here on LinkedIn directly. So you are using a third-party app. We use Restream. There are a couple of other ones. So in other words, you can't just go to LinkedIn directly. You need a third-party app to have you go out to LinkedIn. What are the other ones? I'm trying to remember.
StreamYard is one of the other ones.
StreamYard is one of the other ones. There is a list somewhere. If you Google it, that LinkedIn does provide. So just keep that in mind, that there's like a little bit of an extra step that you need to take if you're going to live stream. But once you get all that set up, I mean, you can do a show like this. You can interview people. You can, the possibilities are limitless.
I'll tell you what I really love that you can do. So it's live stream, but you can actually live stream recordings. So you can actually you can record an interview on Zoom or on Teams. You can edit it or not edit it, but you can then schedule it to go out live. Like right now, we have one person on YouTube and 34 people on LinkedIn live, right? As we're looking at this. Sometimes we have, so that's it. But now what we can also do is we can take this video and share it again in 4 hours, or share it, like you can reshare it, you can put out. So it will say replay, which is great. So people in the comments aren't like, why are you ignoring me? But you can get it out there. And what happens with the live, and most of you are here probably because you either said that you were coming through, I'm attending on the event, or when we went live, it said, because I think this one's under my account, that it says Bryn Tillman is live, and you were like, oh, let's click through. So that is a real advantage to the live stream versus the native video or linking out. We had a question that I would love, was your answer, I think, but I want to say this. So would a Calendly link at the end be considered an outside link? And you said yes, it does. I'm also going to say you can put a Calendly link, book an appointment in your profile.
Yes.
So that when they are watching this or looking at this, they will see the book an appointment on your profile in the headline. So I would highly recommend, if that's what you're looking to achieve, have that in your profile and not put that in the text. I just wanted to
Mhm.
add that.
Yeah, in addition to what I put in the comments, and this is just for people who are listening on replay, and rather than just dropping a Calendly link, just ask for comments, engage with people in the comments, and then connect with people if they leave a good one, and then you can get the process started of potentially having a sales conversation with them as well. But Brinz is a really good, little bit more direct way to do it. But to answer the question overall, yeah, Calendly link at the end is considered an outside link. But there are ways around it, is all we're saying.
Yeah, that's I just yeah. Okay, cool. Do we have another one or did we get through
We
them?
have one
One
we
more.
have one last one, and it's something that I always say people sleep on, and you shouldn't be sleeping on it because so few people do this. But when you do it, it's so memorable, and you really become top of mind in the people that you're talking with this. And it's very simple to do. Video messaging. So rather than messaging via text, you fire up your camera in a LinkedIn message, and you just send a video message of you talking directly to the person who you are sending the message to. It's so effective, not only because hardly anyone is doing it, but also because they get to see you. They get to hear how you talk. They get to, look you in the eye, even though it's not true two-way conversation. It's about as close as you're gonna get to it because they get to see how you're acting while you're sending the message, and that's important because that automatically adds, authenticity and genuineness or something like that to whatever message that you're yeah, sure, we'll go with that. To whatever message that you are sending to someone. I love video messaging. I still don't do it enough. I should do it so much more than I do, but I absolutely love it. I recommend as many people do it as possible, especially because there's still going to be plenty of people who aren't doing it, even if everyone I talk to and everyone who hears this does this. So you're still going to stand
Yeah,
out.
Stan, do you want to add
very
anything before
true.
I throw in my 2 cents or 12 cents?
No, that's great. It's so powerful, and as Bob mentioned, none of us are doing it enough. Just keep in mind you can't do it from your desktop,
Yes.
hopefully yet. It'd be nice if they do that at some point, but right
They're
now
talking about it. I've
yeah,
read that at some point that you're going to be doing it, that you're going to be able to do it, but it hasn't happened yet. So who knows?
yeah. So just keep that in mind. Bryn,
Yeah,
over to you.
yeah. So that is mobile only right now, but they can see it anywhere. It's just you're recording it on your phone. Um, Here's a few times to how do you use this, right? Re-engaging someone that you haven't talked to in a while. You can take inventory of your existing connections. You can search your first degree connections based on industry or role or location, right? And you can restart conversations with your first degree connections. Or if you've connected a long time ago and you never had a conversation, this is a perfect opportunity. When we tested this, we had a 92%, I forget if it was 92 or 90, over 90%, let's say, response rate when they got a video message. That's huge, right? Like that's an enormous percentage of people responding, and it's way lower when it's a message. So send that. Another great opportunity to do this is when you accept someone's connection request. So I tend to accept connection requests on my phone, and then I can send, as I have a template that I send if I'm not video ready. But this is a great opportunity to say, hey, thanks so much for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I do like to get to know my new connections and share value. If you're interested, I've got content around X, Y, and Z. Let me know. I can share that. And please let me know how I can support you. Something simple, right? Now, I do recommend that you do a custom one every single time, but you can have a basic one not using their name that you
Mm,
can use over and over again.
yeah.
Once you record it once, it's in your video settings, right? It's in your video in your phone. You can use it over and over again. I don't necessarily. I try not to do that. I do have a few that I've done that with. I try to make them more personal, but at the end of the day, they're not aware that it's as long as you're very casual in the way you're having that conversation, like, thanks so much for connecting with me. Welcome to my network, right? And then make sure that you're sending the right message. So if, if I don't know who it is, I might have a message that say, hey, I'd love to know how you found me. If it is someone I already know, it was great meeting you. Like, just make sure you've personalized that enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm done.
Okay. Are you done? Okay, yeah. And we're done too, especially because we are slightly over. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up and just, whether you're with us live or recorded, thanks for joining us for this episode of Making Sales Social Live, sponsored by AskSSL.ai. And definitely check that out too. We do our live sessions weekly here on LinkedIn and YouTube. So, join us. So, but if you're listening to us on our podcast, we'd like to encourage you to hit that subscribe or follow button if you haven't done so already, and to drop us a like and leave a comment as well. So, besides these LinkedIn Lives, we also interview leaders in sales and leaders and experts. Rather, you can tell this is brand new scripting in sales, marketing, business, and many, many more areas. So, be sure to catch those episodes as well. If you'd like more information on our podcast, go to socialsaleslink.com/podcast. So when you are out and about, be sure that you're making your sales
social.
We'll
Thanks,
get it right.
everyone. Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes not quite as much. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye, y'all.